Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Chakits with Simply Vegas Realty, realtor out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today is Sunday, January 21st, and it's about 9:40. The weather out here, it's probably in the 60s right now. Sun is pretty much beaming. It's pretty hot. And today, this is actually going to be a very long video regarding the market conditions today. I haven't done one of these since December 1st. Now we're here at the first of the year on the 21st. So let's just jump right into it. So for the single family residence, right now we only have a total of 3,864 properties that are currently available. And last year we were hovering around 5,000 homes every single month, but that actually dropped pretty dramatically. Now, as far as for private sales, we have a total of 3,748 currently available at this time, and that's 97% of the market today. 90 homes that are currently available right now are also short sales, and that's only 2% on the market. Bank-owned properties, there's only 26 bank-owned properties as of today, 1% of the market. Now, if we actually take a look at the single-family residence, as far as what's the median price, believe it or not, we're actually at $270,000. Now, at $270,000, you actually get roughly about 1,834 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. That comes out to about $148 a square foot across the valley. And average days on the market is about 20 days today. Now, the last time I shot this video, the average days on the market was actually 15 days. And however, during that time, the median price point was at $262. So we really finished off the year of 2017 roughly about 19%, 20% I would say. We're increasing about 1.8% or something like that every single month. Okay, so things are actually moving along. And we've closed over 40,000 homes, or actually 40,000 units last year. And a lot of people ask me, what do you see coming for 2018? You know, based upon the numbers and the data as far as what's going on economically, I can see that Las Vegas will have another increase anywhere from 15 to 20%. And here's why. Because if we take a look at the data as far as tourism that's actually coming in here to Las Vegas in 2017, we actually had over 42 million people visiting Las Vegas. The year before that was just a little bit under 42 million. And this year we generated over $10 billion in gaming revenue. I'm sorry, actually 2017. So things are moving along. Remember, Las Vegas, our primary sector is hospitality, casino, and gambling, which accounts about 64% of our economy. So that's where we actually really take a look at what's really going on here in the housing market. We have to start from the foundation and see how many people are coming in, who's spending all the money. So right now we are still thriving, okay? Now, as far as for like single family residents at this time, what I'm starting to see is there's been a big fluctuation regarding financing, okay? And what I mean by that is, if we take a look right now, 23% are actually cash buyers, okay? And that went from 29 down to 23%. So that dropped pretty dramatically. But this is where I find it's very interesting. Today, conventional buyers are about 50%. They went from 45 to 50% from the last video I shot. Now, FHA went from 15% all the way up to 17%. And VA buyers dropped from 10% all the way down to 9.8%. So the reason why conventional is going higher, here are a couple things. Number one, even though that you're a cash buyer, it doesn't mean that you're going to get your offer accepted. Okay. The only thing that's great about a cash buyer is, number one, you can close a little bit faster, and number two, there's no appraisal. However, the sellers are pretty savvy in today's market. They are willing to wait another 2-3 weeks to make $5,000. I mean, why wouldn't you? Okay. Also, what I'm starting to see is a lot of FHA buyers are actually moving on to conventional, because there's actually a new program out here that you can go conventional at 3% down, with the home as a possible program. So that's definitely something I would look into. And the reason why that's taking place, and a lot of people are doing that, is because sellers would actually accept a conventional over an FHA buyer because of the appraisal guidelines. So now with this new program out, a lot of FHA buyers that were doing at 3.5% down, now they're going to conventional with the new program at 3% down with the home as a possible program. At that point, what they're doing is now they're utilizing that type of loan because of the appraisal contingencies, okay? And what's happening is that the sellers are accepting conventional even more. Unfortunately, VA buyers dropped from 10.2% from all the way down to 9.8%. And the reason why is because number one, there's really not that many VA buyers out there. And number two is that a lot of sellers and listing agents don't really understand how to do a VA transaction, and they really make it harder than it really seems, believe it or not. Now let's move on to the single family on the rental side. Single family rental side actually increased by $5 as far as monthly rents, believe it or not. So it went from $1,395 to $1,395 to $1,400 a month. Now, what can you actually get with that? 3 bedrooms, around 1,700 square feet, okay? Now, if we take a look, and I get this question asked all the time, is it worth it to buy a property or is it worth it to rent? So we already know that 1,700 square feet today, you can rent a home for $1,400, or you can actually buy a home for $270,000 and you get 1,800 square feet. So let's see if it actually makes sense for you. So let's just say you get an interest rate today at 3.5%, okay? So if you got an interest rate at 3.5% on a $270,000, your payment would be $1,212.43. Also, you have taxes and insurance, so basically, let's add another $200. So your payment would be $1,412.43, which takes you up about $12 more. So basically, $12 more will get you a home that's about 100 square feet more. Now, it's pretty leveled playing field. So now what you need to do is go out into the marketplace, look at the location that you want to buy, the type of home you want to buy, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and all. Also take a look at the conditions. Do those homes exist based upon what you're willing to pay at $1,400? Okay. The next thing you need to do is take a look within that area, same type of home, model match, and you take a look at the rental market. Now, if the rental market is a little bit higher, at that point, then you may want to decide that maybe I want to buy, okay? Now, if the mortgage is, if the rents are a lot lower, then you maybe want to rent. So that's how you do, that's basically your determining factor. However, another thing that you need to consider is if you're actually thinking on buying, what is the end game? Because if you're looking just to buy and to stay in there for like 1 year, you have to think about what happens as the market crashes. Okay, but if you're looking to stay in the home for some time and you're not really buying this as an investment property and you can actually see yourself living there, then maybe it is now the time to buy. So it's really case-by-case basis, and you really have to get your information, but that's kind of like a starting point that I provide for my clients. Also, what I've noticed is that buyers, okay, drop from 62.5% all the way down to 55%. Right now, 44.7% right now are actually renters, okay? So what that means is that the mortgage on the home and the pricing on the home was so high that the mortgage payment didn't make any sense. So now people are going back to renting a little bit more, but now what's happening is their rents are getting higher and higher. Now people are now going back to possibly buying a home, okay? Now, a lot of people think that you can go out there and get your offer accepted right away. It's not like that. The inventory is very low, so please keep that in mind. In addition to that, if you can actually pay your own closing costs, the better it is for you. Also, you really want to get educated as far as how and what are customary practices in today's market, so that way you're better prepared of getting your offer accepted in today's market. Now, let's move along to townhomes. Townhomes right now, we have a total of 281 that's currently available. Private sales, we have a total of 273, which is 97% of the market share today. 3%, short sales, there's only 5 short sales that are currently available. and that's only 2% of the market share today. Bank owns, there's only 3 bank-owned townhomes currently available on the market. That's only 1% of market share. Now the townhomes, what's going on with the townhomes right now? If we take a look, the average list price for a townhome was actually $199,000, and the average sales price for a townhome is about $200,000, and that actually increased pretty dramatically from $170,000 to $200,000 from the last video that I've shot. That's gone up $30,000 within 1 month. The reason why townhomes are really increasing dramatically is because home pricing is starting to get very high based upon the median price income here in the state of Nevada at $51,000. That's like 5 times the income. So what they're doing is, instead of purchasing a single family residence, they're actually purchasing a town home. But it's really forcing the pricing up. Now, basically what you can get for, $200,000 is 1,320 square feet, and that roughly averages about $134 a square foot with an average 10 days on the market. So from the last video I shot, it went from 12 days down to 10 days. So things are picking up a lot quicker there, okay? Now, moving on to condos. Condos right now, we actually have a total of 445 condos currently available. 429 are private sales, which is 96% of the market share. Short sales, we have a total of 9, which is 2% of the market share. Bank-owned properties, we actually have 7%, which is only 2% of the market share. Condos right now went from $260,000 all the way up to $230,000 at $128 a square foot, with an average days on the market went from 13 days now to 23 days. So it's taking a little bit longer to close these type of transactions because of the certain type of guidelines. Because what's happening is these conventional buyers, they're going into the properties, but what's happening is the pricing is so high and they're running into problems and issues, and that's the reason why it's taking a little bit longer to close. But what's happening also is, that price point of $129,000 or $130,000 for a condo, what people are realizing that, $70,000 more, I can possibly get a townhome. And the reason why is because if you're a FHA buyer, it's going to be very hard to get a condo accepted based upon FHA guidelines. And the reason why is because their guidelines stipulates that we don't finance on condos. I think there's only like 4 or 5 communities out here with their restrictions. So that's something that you really need to take a look at. Now, what I find very fascinating that we only have about 1.7 months supply of inventory at this time. And as of right now, we're, since 21 days, we sold about 1,400 something homes. But this is very interesting, and this is what I find very intriguing. 7.2% of the listings are actually getting a price reduction every single week. So what this tells you as a seller, what they're doing is when they take a listing, and I'm sure agents are really educating their clients on what's going on with the housing market. So let's just say the listing agent advises their client to list your property at $200,000 because that's what it's worth. What sellers are doing is listing their property for about $205,000, okay, and they're getting their offers accepted because they're trying to squeeze every dollar and every dime out of the appraisal. And I understand you want to get as much as you can. However, sometimes the seller is overlisting their property and they're not getting any offers. And what's happening is they're doing a price reduction on a weekly basis, okay? Now, if you're a seller, that could actually hurt you. Because think about this, because everybody knows the average days on the market for single family residence is what? I said 15 days, 14 days actually. No, I'm sorry, 20 days. So basically, every week, if you're not getting an offer and you've already passed that 20 days and the buyers are educated, after a month, they're going to see, hey, you know what? This property is overpriced. And at that point, they're going to ask for a price reduction, okay? So it's very important to really get educated as far as what's going on with the housing market and really list your property at fair market value so that way you get multiple offers. I would actually rather get multiple offers than anything. But it's really up to you as a seller on how you want to play the game. Now, let's see here. Also, I've noticed for duplex, triplexes, and fourplexes, if you are getting into the investment game as far as you want to become a buy and hold investor and you want a cash flow, I'm going to tell you now, please stay out of this market. You know, I've been in this market for cash flow properties now for probably about 3 years, and I've been looking at the fourplexes, duplexes, and the triplexes, and it just doesn't make sense as far as the ROI, which is the return on investment. I'm seeing fourplexes going up to 300,000, even some of them are all the way up to 400,000. It's just so ridiculous, and I don't even know how much cash flow you're actually going to make. I mean, the average unit for a fourplex is $550. That's only what, like $2,200 a month. And if you're financing on a deal like that and you're putting 20% down, your return on investment is probably like less than like 4%, believe it or not. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, if you paid cash for it, oh man, it's even worse. But I don't know any true investor out there would actually pay cash for a fourplex, because every investor will leverage out their money and borrow the bank's money and make a higher return. So if you're thinking about getting into that market and you're actually about to buy something, oh man, this market is about to crash on the fourplex, duplex, and the triplex sector. So please be very, very careful. Now, there are some single family residents out there that you can make about a 6% return. But the true investors that looking to buy in multi-units, please, if you're a brand new investor and you're trying to get your feet wet, stay out of a market. I have right now a client that has a couple fourplexes that I do manage, and he calls me like every single week, Chuck, I want to buy another fourplex. You know, let's get going. And I always tell him, hey, you got to hold your horses, okay? Trust me, right now is not the time to buy, okay? And, you know, this guy's holding off. But anyway, just be careful with that. That's very, very important. And guys, that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, you know, please feel free to contact me anytime. On the description below, I have my contact information. Also, you can always shoot me an email. Also, if you're just getting into the market and want to start looking at homes, please feel free to visit lvhomesexperts.com. It's just a great website to get started. Number one, you can definitely set up your own search criteria. And number two, what's most important, you're only going to get properties that are actually currently active today. And it's actually linked up to the multiple listing service. So what the multiple listing service is it's a system, it's a website that all realtors in the state of Nevada is required to input their listing into the system. So lvhomesexperts.com actually has a direct link and a direct feed from them. So every time a new listing comes on the market, you'll actually be the first to get those properties. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, and you guys have a blessed day.